vehicles, but as soon as you go into the territory of German marks, then the prices for spares and tuning bits just go through the roof.
Yeah, well, I got in touch with one tuning company and asked them. I've joined a couple of groups. I've done it with the TTs as well, and I've joined the group for the RCZs. And that took some convincing to get in because it said it's RCZ owners, and I had to message the guy and say, look, I'm not an owner yet, but I'm a great believer in doing your homework before you buy a car. I fancy one of these. I'm looking at the TTs. I'm looking at these. I want to learn, and the best way to learn is from the groups. And he's let us in, and just reading some of the stuff that you see on there, they're pretty well built cars.
Do you know where they were made? Which factory?
Come on then.
That's what I'm asking you. I don't know. That's be interested to find out. Because you normally find when a manufacturer such as Peugeot, who do sort of, mostly everyday hatchbacks and saloons and that sort of thing, and people carriers, when they do a car that's a specialist car, is a side issue. It's normally run out of a factory that doesn't belong to them. It normally run out of a factory that produces another type of vehicle. And normally it's, they're usually really, really strong.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything to say where they actually were built, but I know why they stopped producing them, and it was because they weren't a high-selling car. As much as they're a good motor, they were having to compete in a market that they weren't really kitted up for, and the guy at the top basically says, nah, we're pulling the plug on anything that's not really profitable. But by all accounts, there's a lot of people say that Peugeot shot themselves in the foot, taking it off the market.
Well, they're not the first company to do that, are they, James? I mean, how many times have Ford built a coupe that they've had to pull? They were short with a probe. They were certainly short with the Cougar. The Cougar had potential, but they shot themselves in the foot too early with that. There's been a few. I mean, Mazda done it with the MX-6 and the MX-3. They were short-lived. They put all sports eggs into one basket with the RX-8, and we know what happened with that.
Yeah, well, as pretty as the RX-8 is, they're just too expensive to look after.
You don't see much over 17, 18 a gallon with a rotary engine. They are absolutely hungry, not just with fuel, but with you need to give them a little drink of oil every now and then.
Yeah, well, my best man, he had two of them. His first one got written off, he got T-boned, and he was forever spending keeping that on the road, the first one. And I thought he was mad when he bought a second one. But that was what he wanted, so that's what he got. And again, it was just, he always had his hand in his pocket with it.
I've had 4 RX-7s, so I know the rotary engine very well, and I know what it takes to look after. Very, very, very reliable engine if you look after it, but you've got to spend your pennies. And it's not just actually looking after the engine, as I said, James. Your hands are with it. It's never out the fuel station. You're forever filling it up, and you've got to buy, they've got to buy the oil that goes into it as well. It actually squirts oil into the fuel mix. The RX-8 was a great concept car. It was a great idea, and the Renaissance engine won awards, but they just didn't perfect it. I think it was launched a bit too quickly. Tricky car to look after, but if you look after, very reliable.
I mean, I've had mates that have had RX-7s, and one of them was pushing out 700 plus brake horse by the time they'd finished with it. Absolutely amazing. I mean, they used to leave Porsches and Ferraris behind, and you used to look at it and you think, how the hell did he manage that? But he done every possible upgrade to it. But I mean, it was a Japanese import anyway. I think it cost him a thick end of 10 or 12 grand by the time he brought it into the country, and then he spent as much again modifying the bloody thing.
It's for aftermarket tuning on them things is one of the most supported cars. Well, you've just got to look at the franchise, haven't you? The film, what was it called? Fast and Furious. or X7s all over it. They do tune really well. It's because they're free revving. On standard guys will rev up to 9,000, no problem. And I mean the technology on the FD3 with the sequential turbo. There's no such thing as turbo lag on them because as one turbo is coming off, the other one's spinning up. So you've got it right through the rev range. They were phenomenal motor cars there, but you didn't look after them. It would cost you.